of like a symptom of fear, like not acting on something because you're afraid of an outcome, maybe rejection, or in my case, you just don't think that you can do it. And so once I was real with myself, because I was always saying it too, I would be like, oh, I could never do anything like that. And I had to stop and be like, why are you talking to yourself like that? So for me, it just went back to, it has nothing to do with working out. It has everything to do with how you're talking to yourself.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Sis Stop Sulking podcast. My name is Miss Tasha Talks Life, and I'm very excited about this topic. We have the wonderful DAMITA Joe on with us today. So DAMITA, before we hop right in, first, let me just say this podcast is a safe space for women that are prioritizing their health, their self-love, and their life goals. So this is no different. Today, we're talking about health, we're talking about mindset, we're talking about fitness and all the good things. So if you will, DAMITA, please introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is DAMITA Joe, and I'm a mindset and fitness coach, but it's like emphasis on the mindset because we do work out, but I'm a mindset and fitness coach that helps women, particularly over 40, stop procrastinating and embrace more consistency in fitness and like self-care activities.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about your journey and your story, how you became or what inspired you or what happened. Because I feel like sometimes when we usually the things that we're doing is some form of, especially with coaching, some form of where we're coming from and what we've been through. So if you can just share a little bit about your story with that.
So, okay, I've been athletic my whole life. Like I ran track and played basketball and, I played adult kickball. Like, so I've always been like active, but once I kind of became an official adult, I didn't have like regular exercise. So in my 40s, right? Well over 40, I started realizing that I watched a lot of people that I knew like lose weight, some of them several times. They were like, people were doing like fitness competitions and, it's a lot of time and preparation that goes into that. So I started to ask myself, like, what are you doing? What were you doing when they were doing that? Like, because if it took them a year to do that, what are you doing? So I guess I just got sick of myself and my own inaction. And so I started to really think like, why aren't you working out? Because it's good for you. You know that you need to do it. You know what to do. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So I had to kind of like dig deep on it and be like, you aren't acting because of, some sort of fear, some sort of like, because I like to call it procrastination, but I found out that procrastination is like, it's sort of like a symptom of fear, like not acting on something because you're afraid of an outcome, maybe rejection, or in my case, you just don't think that you can do it. And so once I was real with myself to because I was always saying it too. I would be like, oh, I could never do anything like that. And I had to stop and be like, why are you talking to yourself like that? So it's for me, it just went back to, it has nothing to do with working out. It has everything to do with how you're talking to yourself, how you're thinking about what you can do, comparing yourself and your abilities to these other people who aren't even thinking about you. They're doing them. So it was just because I went through that whole thing, I just kind of got sick of myself and I said, I'm gonna make a change, right? And so it was like, what's this? This is 2024. It was 2022 in August. I said, I'm going to stop drinking because I drank a lot too. And I was like, I'm going to stop drinking and we're going to go and work out 3 days a week at least. And I did it. And once I started like, just like getting myself through each workout, I just told myself, all I'm going to do is show up and just see what happens, right? and I did a group fitness class for this, and so that kind of kept me accountable because they would look for me to come, and I already paid, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just go. And I had to really talk myself through the workouts. And so once I started really focusing in on like, it really is, your mind is stronger than your body, that I was like, this is why a lot of people are not working out. It's not that they can't do it or they don't want to do it. They it's something that they're telling themselves that's stopping them from acting on it or whatever. So that's what kind of got me down that whole rabbit hole. And then people were asking me, for tips and advice. And so that's when I started doing like the reels and things like that. And then, so that's kind of how I got started. And then I started meeting other people who were in the same space. And I just kind of realized, wow, like this is kind of what I've been talking about my whole life. When I thought about how I used to encourage people, or I still encourage people, but like just the things that, in the realm of mindset that I was already focused on. And I just realized as an adult, like, this is what you need to be talking about. Cause this is what I like talking about. Like,
No, that's good. Yeah. I feel you on the mindset part. I feel like a lot of people, number one, they, like you said, don't believe that they can do it. That's number one. And then it's also, they don't have a big enough why. Right. It's almost like something dramatic has to happen for you to be like, okay, I'm going to change my life. Like, and a little bit about my story in 2020, when the world shut down in August, I had a surgery. I had actually, it was supposed to be an outpatient. It ended up being an emergency, and they did 2 surgeries at once. And I woke up and I'm like, wait a minute, like I feel like not well. I'm like, what's going on? And so after that, it was like, and I was healthy. I played basketball too. I played basketball in college. I, for the most part, I ate pretty healthy. I had my kids, so I wanted to make sure that they were eating good and everything like that. But after that, I said, okay, well, not having any more kids. And I just turned 40 and it's time to get snatched, right? And it's like, and again, like I said, I've always been active, and I've never was really like, I mean, there was definitely some troubled areas, but I can hide them really well. So I coasted for a long time. And then after this part, when I'm like, okay, no more kids, and my husband was like, but why? I was like, okay, fine. And so so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And outside of that, so I did a lot of professional development, and then it just started. And one thing you said about like, just once you, first of all, accountability is huge, right? Just it's easy to let yourself down. It's easy to say, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow when I wake up. Nobody else knows. You wake up and you're like, I'm not gonna go. And we let ourselves down regularly, right? But when you have accountability, that's number one. So I first started with a trainer to hold me accountable. But then not that I didn't need him anymore, but when I didn't go, I felt like I was going through withdrawals. Like I needed it. Like it became a part of me. It's more for me. It's more my mental than my physical when I'm in the gym. It's like, it's wild. Like I have like such a meditation in the gym that I'm like stopping mid workout, writing things in my notes in my phone, like because God is like revealing stuff to me or whatever. So I love the minds. I love that about mindset. And so now, what do you? So you said that you just got sick of yourself, which is good, right? Because some people get sick of themselves and they go for the ice cream, right? Some people get sick of themselves and they make excuses, right?
See, now I love ice cream. I will not pass on the ice cream. Like I don't believe in like I'm never gonna eat this again. Like, but you know what I'm saying? We need to make sure that other things happen if we're gonna have the ice cream.
Everything in moderation. That's why when you was like, you gave up drinking, I was like, good for you. Yes. Because I still need my wine on the weekend. Like I'm not giving up my red wine.
Well, I'm not saying that I don't drink. No, let me just be clear on that, because I was a functional alcoholic, meaning it wasn't like I would get drunk or whatever, or at least I didn't feel drunk, because I was drinking like beer, which is probably the worst thing too, because I wanted to get rid of my stomach, but it wasn't right. But I was just like, I gotta stop drinking every day. I was drinking every day, like especially especially right after quarantine. I'm like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
For sure.
I was like, this is probably like, there were times that I would work out. Like I did this whole challenge the year before, and I did have some results, but I was still drinking like I wasn't working out, right? And I was like, I wonder how much better my results would be if I just stopped drinking every day. So it was hard at first, but I had to realize, like, what are you doing it for? You're not even getting really anything out of it. It doesn't, make you feel good. I was like, so what I did was I replaced the beer with sparkling water, because I was like, I really just use that as my, okay, this is my sign to myself that I'm chilling. I don't have to work and I got something cold to drink or whatever. And beer's not even good. So I was like, sparkling water is it. You know what I'm saying? So that became my new like habit. And then eventually I just stopped. Like I still drink sparkling water, but eventually it would make me more apparent. So what are you drinking and why are you drinking it? Does this fit your goals or whatever? So now I will have like wine and I still have a beer here and there, but now I just noticed that I don't feel like it's a necessity in my daily grocery list like I used to.
Yeah, no. Oh, please, COVID. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, like, if you wake up when everybody was in quarantine, it was so bad. It was so bad. But
listen, but we got through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because that was a crazy thing that we never ever thought that we would. Like,
listen,
who was thinking about that?
I'm telling you, like the drink, like you said, like the drinking, it was like it's happy hour somewhere, right? But no, but for me, like when I cook, I associate that with drinking a glass of wine, right? And it's just a glass, but I cook every day. And so for me, the way that I was able to, I started meal planning and cooking on the weekend. And so I don't drink during the week. And now, even when I do cook, say if I don't do my plan and I fall off, that it's just now I don't even drink. And I know that that's my treat for the weekend.
So listen, once you, and you don't realize this until you start getting into your mindset and seeing where your mindset actually is and being real about where your mindset is with yourself. Because like I had to admit, you're addicted and you need to stop. You know what I mean? And like, but you don't realize the things that you will like, how you will think about something once you start to work on your mindset. Like I told one of my friends yesterday texted me and was like, you used to hate working out and now you love it. And I was like, well, I don't love it, but I look at it totally different. And to your point of the withdrawal thing for the gym, I don't go to the gym all the time, but I do work out here. And when I decide to be like, oh, well, we're going to skip today, I feel some type of way now. And I'm like, well, let me just get this in. So now I look at it as like, kind of like what you were explaining about the mental downloads that you get, because I look at my time like, listen, this is what we've scheduled to do right now. It's going to have a good result. We've never regretted a workout and we're just going to get through it. And I talk myself through my workouts too sometimes. Like, it's like, okay, well, you're not feeling it today, but we're going to get this workout done or whatever. Like that's how I do myself. But it's like, I look at it different now. You know what I mean? And that's all because you start to, it spills out into other areas. It's not just the fitness. It helps me at work. It helps me in my personal relationships, right? So it's like you can't go wrong if you start to work on your mindset. People sometimes say that I've heard people say that your body is stronger than your mind, but I personally think that your mind is stronger than your body, because you could be doing a plank right now and your mind will try to tell you you are tired and you cannot do this and you need to stop. You know what I mean? And you will stop even though your body might be able to hold you up a little bit longer. So
for sure. I agree. Yeah. I agree. And so for me, when I don't feel like going to the gym, I just do floor exercises when I get there.
That's still a workout though. But
on the floor. I don't feel like doing that. I do everything on the floor because
see, but you the point is you showed up, you worked out. And this is something that I tell people too. Listen, your body has no idea that you were gonna do a 45-minute to an hour workout. Your body just knows that y'all need to move and you about to move, and this is how we're moving today.
Yeah.
And I think that people get caught up on, oh, I got to do 12 reps of this, 3 sets of this. And the biggest thing you need to do is just show up and just do something. You know what I mean?
And truthfully, that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is actually getting there. That's the hardest part. So I wanna give them some. First, we're gonna get them together, right? We're gonna get them together, and we're gonna tell them reasons why they're procrastinating. So you're gonna give them some reasons as to why you're procrastinating. If you're listening to this, these are the reasons why you are procrastinating on getting yourself together.
Well, I don't know how many I'll have, but I do want to say that if for people who are saying they're too busy, I get it, right? But please look at your schedule, because 15 minutes is still better than none, and you'd be surprised what you could do with 15 minutes. But the main reason that I find, and I'm speaking pretty much for myself and just people who I've talked to, for people procrastinating is that they really just deep down do not believe that they can do it. They don't see themselves doing said thing. And because of that, their body believes it. Like their mind believes it. So they don't have they don't have any motivation to do it. So people will think that they lack motivation. And to be completely honest, this might make some people mad. Motivation is not a factor. It's good if it's there. Yes, let's go with it. But that's not the thing that you need to wait for to do it, right? So, like I was telling you before, like I literally have to treat myself like, I guess, the little inner child that's in there, or like a child, right? And just say, what do I need to do? Because when we were in elementary school, you had time for a nap, you had time for recess, you had time for learning, you had time for arts and crafts, right? So what is it that you need in your life, right? On a daily basis, and you have to schedule that in. And people be like, "Oh, schedule. I don't want to be." It's not even that like strict, but you need to put. And this sounds so cliche. Put yourself on your calendar, but for real, like,
no, for
as
real.
long as if I work out now versus earlier, because before I was that person who would be like, I don't have time. I had this long day. I do this. I don't have time to work out. But if I looked at my schedule and wrote down everything that I actually did in that 24
That's
hours,
good.
I had a couple of hours to do something. I just chose not to do it, which would keep leading me back to, why aren't you doing it, right? So I have to make it like work for me. I know that I work out best in the morning, because if I get it done, I'm not going to have to worry about getting it done. It's going to help me drive my day. I know that I like to, be fully awake before I do it. I don't like to just jump up and go. So I have to get up, and I created a little morning routine that is full of stuff that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like, I may wash my face, I may go play with my dog or whatever, but that time is for me to just chill and be happy. Now I'm about to go into this workout, and before I know it, I'm out of the workout and it's already done. You know what I mean? So I forgot what the question was, but
no, those are good. If you're taking notes, that's good, because like you said, like, so you're saying a lot of times it's just the thought that you can't do it, right? Mm-hmm. Or you don't, and then also finding time. I think that's probably the biggest reasons I don't have time. So like you said, carving out time. If you write down everything that you have to do, you'll see that there is time. And to go even further than you said, in middle school, we had this, and this. Go back. Maybe you don't remember middle school, or maybe you don't remember elementary school. Go to high school, right? When you were in math class, you only thought about math. When you were in science class, you only thought about science. So time blocking, I tell my clients all the time about time blocking. And also, so I'll go with that first. Time blocking, meaning I'm going to do this right now, whether you're working at your regular job, even if you're writing it out, your regular job, say 9 to 5, right? If you have time before that, is your morning routine, workout, work. After that, family, dinner. After that, night routine, whatever. So if whatever your schedule looks like, if you time block it, therefore you're fitting in what you need to fit. And when that timer goes off, because I literally live by a timer and a calendar. Those are my things.
Too.
When that timer goes off,
I do now.
Yeah, when that timer goes off, I'm closing it, right? And then I'm on to the next thing. And that's how you get more done, because you're focused on just that. So the excuse that you don't have time is because you're either unorganized, unstructured, right? And that's why. And I'm not coming for you, but I am, because
no, but that is the first thing that you need to do, is to be real with yourself. Because I used to be like, yeah, I'm a procrastinator and I'm consistently late. But when I get there and when I start working, I'm gonna work circles around you. And probably because I'm trying to make up for the fact that I was late, and you know what I'm saying? But like, you got to be real with yourself, because you really do have the time for what you want to put in your schedule. You know what I mean? Like, even like, I want to read, I'm in a book club, and I also have personal books that I want to read. In order to get the book club book read, because that's not a book that I chose, right? So I have to be like, read 30 minutes every day, right? That way, like you said, you get more stuff done when you have a specific amount of time focus on it, and then you stop and go into something else. Versus, because okay, a procrastinator also will, like, they wait till the last minute to do stuff, and they feel like they work better under pressure, but you're making yourself do that. You could have done a better job. Yeah, you might have done it and you got a C on that, but you could have done a better job had you actually scheduled in the time. So procrastinators are funny, and I can talk about procrastinators because I felt like I was the biggest one or whatever, but it's really something that you're just not believing in yourself as to the reason why you're procrastinating, because procrastinating is not, we don't need to strive for it. So
no, and then you tell yourself the story of I work well under pressure, like you said. And I had a client that said that to me too, like time management was her thing. But she's like, but you know what? I work well under pressure. And I said, okay, how do you feel though? Right. And so although you're working well under pressure, how do you feel? And then she started to unpack that. And I said, and what was the result? Oh, okay. Okay. So you could have did better. So how would you feel if you had enough time? How would you feel if you did a little bit each time? And how would your performance be?
so
She was
much better.
talking about, because she was in school and she was talking about, her great, and she was like, wow, like, wow. And so I think that that's very important, is to rewrite the story. Stop telling yourself that you work well under pressure when you actually would have better results if you planned it out and did it that way. So that was good. That was good, Damita.
And you would be happier, because like people who are always late, they tend to think and be like, you don't have the life that I have. I had to do all of this before I got here. And it's like you had said earlier, it's usually because you're unorganized and you're probably waiting till the morning to pick out your clothes, waiting till the morning to do this or whatever. And it's like, but you tell yourself these things and you don't have to be under that pressure. Like now I've always been like this, but I just figured out how to make my life like this. I like to be relaxed and I like to move through my day with, like I don't need to know what's going on, but it just needs to be a chill vibe. Like we're not, upset. We're not doing this. We're not doing
Oh,
this.
I love
We're not
it.
late or whatever. And so, but in order for me to get it like that, I had to be real with myself and realize that I was in the way. Like, and now, like I'm trying to tell the same thing to my son because he gets it honest, right? But and then it's not like the fact that he performs really well after a cram session or something like that for studying, that's not helping, because it's like you don't have to put yourself through that. You could just study every day or whatever.
And honestly,
So,
you and I was a crammer. Oh my God, I was the best crammer in the world. Like, but don't ask me, don't say you lost the test and we got to do it again or something. It'd be like, what?
Listen, and then when I say it's like people that maybe you don't want to work out, maybe you don't want to. I feel like everybody should want to do personal development and mindset and self-care stuff, right? Like you would be so surprised at how much you can do a day, and I speak against multitasking as well. Like that's another, don't fall into that trap. You know what I mean? Because you
Not
think
real.
but yeah, because you're like, anyway, this isn't about multitasking, but that's my point. Like people that procrastinate are scared of something, and whether they want to admit it or not, they have, once they figure it out though, that's when you can start to fix it. Like I'm still that person that has the potential to procrastinate or has the potential to put stuff off, but now I know why. Because if something looks like it's gonna be burpees, right? If I see you about to do burpees, I'm automatically, the old me will automatically be like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Right. But why not? You didn't even try to do it. It's
Right.
the same thing for me
Right.
at work. If you trying to task me with something that I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of stuff, I'm not even looking at myself as the person who's supposed to have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, not that I can't do it, but it's like, oh my God, this task is so much pressure. And I was doing that to myself at work when all I had to do was just show my due diligence and produce something. But I was just making it this big old thing that I would just do at the last minute, which obviously then proved to me you could have been knocked this out of the park if you did it in this little bit of time.
Yeah, that's good. No, because that's right. Because you say like, okay, procrastination is you're avoiding something, or doing the thing, but then that it has to get done anyway, and that's why, because you're capable, that's why you think that you work well under pressure, because because you're able to do it.
But you already were capable. You just didn't believe that you were capable. That's why I'm like, I don't like, people do ask me if I do training, and I wouldn't mind being a personal trainer, but that wasn't what I like. I really want to help people with the mindset part, but we're going to do it with a little bit of fitness too, because that can help you create like a healthy habit or whatever. But like, it's so much that opens up once you realize, and it's not about fitness. It's about every aspect of your life. Like, you have to get the mindset right. You have to start with like your because I feel like we're all traumatized, especially after, I mean, even before that, but after the
Pandemic.
the pandemic. It's
Mm-hmm.
like everybody has some sort of trauma. And so because that is the case, like, even more, you need to be paying attention to, like, what do you need today? What you have to do? Because if you aren't right, how can you help somebody else? You know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
like, I don't know. A lot of it sounds cliche or whatever, but I really understand it more now that I've been actually like identifying the real reasons why I wasn't working out. Now I said, like, this year I said I was gonna I set certain days. This is just a workout day, period. So we're gonna get our workout on, right? And oh, today's not that day, then okay, we do something else. But we're definitely, and I'm this is the 29th. I have worked out all of the days that I said I would up until today.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I haven't posted content like I should, but I've the workout, it's just a habit now. It's just like you'll start to view it as something that your body needs, just like,
Absolutely.
you just will. And that's the thing people don't see when they first start doing something like working on themselves. Like, you don't see what you're gonna start, like, I can't even get the words out. You're gonna start changing. Your mindset is gonna start to view things differently. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
I looked at the way that I was talking, and I didn't even realize it. And people do this all the time and don't realize it. Like, just, that was stupid, or I'm stupid, or I'm so dumb, or what I was saying was, when I was trying to figure out the concept of my business and which way I wanted to go, my coach asked me, well, how would you introduce yourself? And I said, well, I wouldn't call myself a coach or anything like that. Like, I would. And she was like, well, why not? And I was like, because I'm not, and I immediately start to, like, prove why I'm not a coach. And it was just like, girl. And she was like, look what you're doing. Like, and I was just like, I wasn't thinking about it like that. And then I started to just look at all of the things that I used to say to myself, just arbitrarily, just out of the blue, just depending on what's happening or whatever. And I'm like, I gotta stop talking like that.
No, for sure. I listen, my friends get tired of me because I'd be like, well, because they be like, oh, I'm broke because you keep saying you broke. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, because you keep saying you're sick. Oh, and they be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because I really believe in the power of the tongue. And I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but let me tell you, when I say it, I immediately catch myself. And I'll switch it up because it's natural, right? It's like sometimes it just flows, and I'm like, so it's very important to change the story. Or another thing that one of my coaches said to me, which I thought was powerful, was whatever you're telling yourself, that you can't do, find the proof that it's not true. Right. And whatever it is that you desire, that you want, find the proof that it's true. So if there's something that if you want to be, over 40 and have no back fat and have around, find the proof, because it's out there, right? And
I
you want
like
to
that.
prove that it's there.
Find the proof.
Find the proof. And if you're saying that you can't do something, ask yourself, like you said, why not? And find the proof that you can, and that you're telling yourself a lie, and change the story. I think that to me is just so powerful. It's like, whenever I start to think about my goals, because my goals is really outlandish. My goals are like
for you, but I bet you supersede them goals, and it's probably going to end up being something that you didn't even think of. So
yeah, and I found the proof though. I know somebody that knows somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, find the proof. I'm definitely loving that.
Yes. And so with that, like, now it's like, and that's why I said operating in expectancy this year is so profound for me, because whatever I'm telling myself, if I'm dreaming this big, and then an imposter syndrome, a negative limiting beliefs start to kick in, I go to the proof. I go to the proof that it's possible. But number one, if you already have the vision and the dream, or it's already possible, because if you can see it, you can have it. Right? It's just a matter of just going for it. So,
girl, I'm over here taking notes. Okay? Yeah. Because you ain't lying.
Come on.
And just to piggyback on that, like, because a lot of times people, I guess, I don't know whether they delve into what it means to ask yourself those questions. Like, when you ask yourself those questions, I recommend doing it in a journal, because then you can write down the answers. Even if they start out negative, you can see how, Oh, why do I write that? Oh, what does
Absolutely.
that mean? I looked at stuff that I wrote before. Like, I actually wrote that. But I recommend journaling your answer to those questions, and answer honestly. And then I'm telling you, you're gonna get to a point where you be like, if I just focus on this, then I can make some progress or whatever. Like it's not um as hard as people think. It's just
Right.
like with the talking to yourself, right? One of my little things that I like saying is talk to yourself nice. I got that from you know who Tony Jones is?
No.
So
Mm-mm.
Tony Jones, there's a new genre of music called affirmations music. And so
Okay.
Tony Jones does affirmation music. Look her up on YouTube, Toni Jones. So she has a song called Talk to Me Nice, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I always like to say talk to yourself nice, because you're not going to you're not gonna change anything if you keep talking to yourself like that. And so in order to rewrite that story, you have to see what you've been saying, and you can't do that in your mind. You have to get it out on paper.
Yes,
You know
that's
what I mean?
good.
That's just my thought or whatever.
Yeah,
But
no,
anyway.
I like that. Talk to yourself nice, because I usually say, talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
You're not gonna tell your friend, girl, you fat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or girl, what you do to you? You're just not. And you can even deliver what you're trying to say with poise and with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, or I'm so this, you wouldn't say that to anybody else.
No.
Right? So talk to
No.
yourself nice, and then and so to piggyback on the journal, write some affirmations, retell it. How does it, I don't know. I call them mindset declarations, but though that, first of all, I feel like being Mary Jane in my house. Like, I have them everywhere.
You know
There's
what?
so much
Yeah.
power. There's
I
so much
I
power.
don't know how not to do that. Like, and then like if you ever met my sister, me and my sister also have a podcast where we talk about like, trending topics and celebrity stuff or whatever, but we do personal development together. And like we have several, like, I just write something down. I have to see it. Sticky note here, sticky note there.
It's good though. It's
I'm
so good.
addicted. I don't know.
No. So we're gonna set, like, okay, so basically just to give them some stuff to write down, because we've dropped a bunch of bullets. Like, if you're paying attention, you'll be able to write them down. So just to double back, we're saying plan out time for yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
write out your entire to-do, right? And as you break down your to-do list or your daily schedule, insert yourself somewhere. Insert
Absolutely.
yourself somewhere, right? Then one that we didn't, you mentioned it, but I just want to make it an action step. You said in the morning you don't like to just jump up and go out, so you do what you want to do. You have a self-care morning routine that kind of gets you in the flow, whatever that is. Then you go into your workout. I
Mm-hmm.
like to call that habit stacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Exactly.
doing something. Like, for me, to get me to the gym, I drop my kids off at school. So after I drop them off, I head to the gym. So that's my habit stack. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going from one thing to the other. Now,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, it's just, and making sure that you're feeling. So my morning routine, I do that before they wake up, which gets me in my zen, because morning routine, because getting them up in the morning is
Mm-hmm.
especially my baby, he is not a morning person. And then once I drop them off, I'm already dressed. I go right to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So scheduling, habit stacking, time blocking, right? Asking yourself those hard questions and really being honest with yourself. That's how you overcome procrastination. That's how you overcome not doing it. And again, not waiting to feel motivated, because that's a lie,
It
right?
sure
That's why you
is.
need self-discipline, because you'll never feel motivated. And if you are, you're motivated from January 1st to January 29th.
Right. Right. It needs to be, something that you include in your daily lifestyle. It
For
can't be,
sure.
you can't, yeah.
And
But it's so easy once you start going with how you feel. Like I said, it's people that like to work out in the evenings. I'm sorry, I interjected on your tip dropping, but do
no,
what
that's good.
works for
I can't do.
you.
It did work for me at one point in my life, right? But for me, because of all the things, so you
Mm-hmm.
have to find out what works for you, because all the things in my, I could say as much as I want to, I'm going to go to the gym at this time in the evening. It'll never happen because of all the things, right?
Of all the things. And you already know that about your day. So everybody's is going to look different. And like I said, I like to, whenever people see me, I'm chilling. I'm like, hey, but I am working. I'm doing stuff or whatever. But I just do it according to
it's stuff that you enjoy, and it's stuff that you have a flow. And I love that. I'm striving for that.
I mean, and then the last thing I will say is, you look like you already there, but the last thing I will say about this is, also do something that you like. Don't force yourself to run a marathon if you don't like running. Like, it's a lot of people that I know that do stuff like that. Oh, I hate running, so I'm just gonna force myself to run. Well, why? Because there's so many things that you could be doing, and what that does is it's actually counterproductive. Because if you haven't worked out for a while, and then you like, oh, I'm about to start working out 3 times a week, an hour a day or whatever, it's like you're gonna quit.
Burn out. You're gonna burn out.
You know what I mean? So like my thing is, do stuff that you like, you know what I mean, and just show up. That is it's just that simple. It could be for 5 minutes, because eventually you're gonna change that 5 minutes, but you're gonna celebrate the fact that you showed up every day for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
So, no, that's good. No, that's really good.
Like you got to trick your mind. It's sad to say. I mean, it's not even sad to say, because we've been kind of conditioned to just, think what the beauty standard is and other things like that, that you just forget that you have control over you. You have control over you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You can do it here. You know what you need, right? So.
Yeah, no, I love that, because I think, I know you said women over 40. So I think at this big grown age, we are not, we should not be doing things that we don't genuinely love to do. I mean, like in our leisure and for our bodies and for our health, right? Like I do not like running. I'm a sprinter. So I'm not doing no jogging or whatever. It's just, for me, it's dreadful. Right. So,
see, but you probably have go-to like exercises that
absolutely
you like.
And that's what it's about. And I think that's realistic. I think that's sustainable. I remember a time, this was years ago, I used to go to Zumba, and I absolutely loved it, because dancing is my self-love, like, for sure. But and it works. But I did it for years because I wasn't into that other stuff until I got with a trainer. I was always nervous to do the equipment because I wasn't sure what to do. So after having an accountability partner, right, because that was going to be my next tip, I was able to now see how it works and realize that I was running from it because I didn't know how to use it, and I actually like it. And I actually, and I also know that as women, we lose 30% of our muscle mass every year. So it's very important to lift weights. And I know women, my sister, she thinks that she's going to be so diesel. I'm like, girl, first of all, you got a long way to go. Before you
my sister thinks that too. That she was like, I'm just gonna start with a month of cardio, and I was just like, why? You don't even have to do that much cardio. Like,
no, and they don't understand. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, girl, you need to, first of all, you need to be able to do to pull your own weight.
Listen, I want to be able to jog up a couple of steps if I need to. Somebody's chasing me, or if there's a dog loose. I want to be able to carry my little 3 bags in the house when I come from the grocery store, if I'm having to have somebody come out the house and help me if I need to. And, I need to be able to break my fall if I tip over. Like, I just need the coordination to be where we're not going to be.
And that's funny, because I need to be able to drop it low when my song comes on. Just
simple things, you know what I'm saying? So I feel you in that, so I don't know. I just realized that, like I said, I just changed my outlook on it. But this is going to be like, I'm going to be that old lady that still works out.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for sure. And again, like, just, making sure that you're looking at those tips that we talked about and seeing how you can make it work for you. That's the bottom line. It's making it. Is doing it. And I'm saying that with a conviction and with, oomph, doing it, but just finding how you make it work for yourself. Set a timer, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Start with maybe just stretching. Start with doing your own body weight. You should be able to move your body in a certain way, but you have to do it. And so I'm not saying that you have to be lifting 50 pounds and all this other stuff, but you got to move and you got to do it. So whether you like walking, like she said, like DAMITA said, whatever it is you like to do, you just got to do something, because as you get older, you lose muscle mass, and also your bones tense up. And so part of my night routine, I used to do it like when COVID and all of that, and then I got away from it. But part of my morning routine, my evening routine, is to stretch before I go to bed. I want to be able to touch my toes. I want to be able to. Do you know what I'm? Because your body is stiff. If you stop, you're gonna realize it's something. Okay. And so I think that's very important. So I really this is very dear to me, and I appreciate this conversation.
Me too. Thank you so much too.
Yeah, no, this was good. And we are going to play a game. Okay. And this is called the This or That segment. And I really like this game because it gives, just lightens it up a little bit and gives a little insight on the guests. So DAMITA, how this is, I'm going to say two things and you're going to pick which one resonates with you. And feel free to elaborate on it or whatever, however you feel. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, heels or flats?
Definitely flats.
Wine or cocktails?
I'm going to go with wine.
Beach or ski resort?
Beach, definitely.
Lazy river or roller coaster?
Lazy river.
She said, Panties or thong?
Panties.
Read a book or watch a movie?
I'm gonna go with read a book.
Okay. Makeup and fresh face.
Fresh face.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Dark skinned men or light skinned men?
My sister would say I would say light skinned men, but I think that I like dark.
It's so funny because it's like I tell my sister her type too.
I don't discriminate though,
but yeah,
the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yeah, that's what they say for sure. Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Skirt or pants?
Pants.
Okay, couple more. Morning person or late nighter?
Definitely a late nighter.
What time you go to bed?
It depends on the day. Like lately I've been pushing it because I got a little bit of flexibility with my schedule, but I probably went to bed at about 1:30 last night.
What?
1:30 this
That's
morning.
Definitely a late nighter. Okay.
But I need to stop. What I'm trying to work on this year is actually adhering to a bedtime. Like I'm going to go to bed at this time, but I feel like I think I'm going to miss something. So yeah. I don't know what. And then I'll just end up looking at the clock and be like,
really? We couldn't hang out because I fell asleep on you.
My sister do that. She be like, I'm going to sleep. And then you look and she be asleep right there in the midst of whatever.
That's me. My sister would say the same about me. And she hates that I'm when we leave like an event or something and I'm sitting shotgun because
I saw a reel when you went out recently and that I was like, man, she must have had a good time.
Yeah, I was there. If you saw the reel before that, you would see why I was sleeping. Yeah. I was dancing my butt off.
Oh my
and she bothering me. No. Oh goodness. All right. I think I know this one. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah, because
my sister has a cat though, but anyway.
All right, this is a 3-part. Chef, housekeeper, or chauffeur?
I'm gonna go with the housekeeper because I can cook and I don't mind driving. But if we could get a housekeeper on a consistent basis,
that'd be game, right?
It'll be lit. Okay.
That was fun. Thank you so much for being a good sport. That was fun.
Yes, that was fun. I just want to take a moment to thank you, like for real. Like I watched your content and I vibe with your content, obviously. And I'm so glad that I had a chance to come on and have this conversation with you. It's been so fun and enlightening because I love talking about stuff like this. But thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. No, that's good. That's good. So before we end the show, DAMITA, we always end with some sort of declaration, affirmation. So we have a journal full of mindset declarations, and we want to ask you if you can add to that by giving us something dear to you that we can, recite.
So many things that I could say, but I will leave. I want to say two things. One, progress, not perfection. Like, progress is what we're going for, not perfection. All right, and every little bit, like every step counts towards that.
I
And
like that.
then I'm sorry, the other one that I wanted to say is believe in yourself, because you can do it. Like, that sounds so simple, but like, for real, that's what I want to leave people with. Believe in yourself.
I love that. Progress, not perfection, and believe in yourself because you can do it. Yes, those are very good tips. Write those down, repeat those after yourself, add those in your journal. And I just want to say that I love you. I want you to have an amazing week. And remember that your past does not dictate your future. Till next time.